lovely and crunchy. To forage something like this. There you go. The leaves when they're really small and young. Can you not see any water anywhere?
Maybe that's the beach. Yeah.
What's that over there? So myself and Niamh, we're at the beach today and we're just looking for some wild edibles. So all along the seashore there's all sorts of edible greens, and we're going to cook up something at the beach. So the star of the show is going to be Marsh Samphire. So we're going to look around for some of that now, and any other edibles that we see, we'll take a video of them and hopefully get you a little bit of information about them as well. So really nice day, the sun is shining, and we're going to have great fun. So anytime I am going to the beach, I always just check the tide times. So I've just done a Google search here for Wicklow Head tide times, the area that we're foraging in, and it gives me the high and low tide. So the tide comes in and out 2 times a day, and there's 6 hours between each tide. So depending on whatever it is you're doing when you're at the beach, whether it's swimming or fishing or going out on a boat, it's always good to know the high and the low tide. It's also good to know a little bit about the moon cycle as well, which will indicate how strong the tide is actually going to be, if there's a really strong pull on the tide or maybe not so much of a pull. So it's always just good to check the tide times if you're swimming or fishing or whatever it is you're doing. So we're going to be foraging, and we need a low tide to forage what we're foraging for. So we will probably arrive at the beach at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It will be going from its highest point back down to its lowest point. So if we go to the area we're going to at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that will be perfect, and that will give us a good long window of time. So I hope that helps. This is probably one of the most well-known wild edibles to be found on the seashore. It's called sea beet, and it is a relative of the beetroot. You can see the stalk of it has that kind of beetroot colour. The stems are long and narrow, and the leaves are kind of leathery. This is quite a strong tasting edible, and I like the leaves when they're really small and young. They grow quite large, so yeah, I think picking them when they're small and tender is generally the best. So again, that's the base of the stalk, and you can see that really beetroot colour. Some people call this sea spinach or sea beet. So yeah, this is supposed to be really good for you. Like I said, the large leaves are quite strong, so I tend to go for the smaller ones. So just picking some of the sea beet then, or the sea spinach. This will be nice and clean. So it's up about 3 feet off the ground. So I'm just going to pick the tender stems then. Come on here to Daddy. I'm going to take some here though, and I'm going to move on a little bit further and pick a bit more down there. So these are leaves. They look really nice. Gorgeous colour. I don't know if you can see behind me. All along here there's a wild edible, and I'll just show you a close-up of that now. So this is sea purslane, and you can see the little leaves there. They're a nice sagey kind of green colour, and I really like this stuff. It's really tasty, and I love the texture of it. So you can eat it raw in salads, but we're going to lightly cook it. Steaming it would probably be really good, but we're going to boil it just really lightly and have it with some... What are we having this with, Niamh? What is that white stuff called? Not pasta. Oh, not spaghetti. The white stuff. It's called noodles. We're going to have the sea purslane with noodles. I couldn't think of it. We love noodles, don't we? So really, really nice. Okay. This is up about 3 feet off the ground as well. So I know that it's going to be nice and clean. So this is another edible here called sea blight or sea spray. That's pretty small. It's very young. This is the pink one, but you get them much larger in longer clumps, and they'd be green. And they're also known as sea rosemary, because if you look closer you'll see that they actually do look very similar to rosemary. And when you see them in their green colour, tall and bunched, it does really resemble rosemary. So it's called sea rosemary or sea blight or sea spray. So a lot of these things have a lot of different names. So just walking along here and I found some of that sea rosemary or sea blight, and it's much larger and it's green, so I'll give you a quick look at that there now. So there it is there. And nice long stems of it, and you can see why they call it sea rosemary. It literally does look like it, but it has a lovely spongy, kind of rubbery texture to it, like a succulent. And this is actually really nice. I've tried this a few times. It's quite a bit of work to try and pick the sea purslane because it's very small little leaves. But something like this, you pick a long piece of this and you've got quite a bit on the stem, so it's much easier to forage something like this. Lovely shell. Oh yeah. That's salty. There you go. Ahoo!
Whoa! You're amazing at that. Try to do a flip. Is that you do?
Can't do flips.
Is that you could do a flip?
I can't do flips.
You did them before at Easter. Go!
So yeah, as you can see, samphire here all behind me, and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm just gonna pick a small bit out of the basket and give it a try. It's not rinsed or washed or anything like that, so just pick a clean piece. But I'm not going to be too fussy about food like this anyway in the wild. So just unreal. It's so succulent. It's just really, really nice. Lovely and crunchy. And of course it's quite salty as well. This one is absolutely filthy dirty, so I'm going to give that one a miss. But this one's pretty clean. I'll give that one a go. Gorgeous. So I've got a small knife here, so just cut it above the base. Be careful not to pull it from the root, just like foraging any wild edible. Just cut it above the base like that. So that's the samphire picked. So it's time to go and get some food now. So we've come to a different spot on the beach, so Niamh can have a little bit of a play. So I've got the samphire down from earlier today. So this is the samphire, and then the sea purslane as well. So this is the sea purslane. We were eating little bits of other stuff along the way, but these are our favourite, is the samphire and the purslane. So we're just going to cook those up with some noodles. So first thing is just to give the food a rinse. Lovely colour. Good colour that, Niamh. Isn't that nice? Oh yeah. So we need enough water to boil these, and also the, what's that white stuff called? Noodles. See when we get home then. So just put the noodles in the bowl, and they just rest in there in boiling water for 3 minutes, and they're done. 2 of those would be enough for us, would they? 2 of those? 3? Of course we have to have a little bit of butter as well. A little bit of cheese on top too. Yeah? Small bit? Yeah? Alright. Niamh fell and scraped her leg on a rock. Poor little devil, aren't you, Niamh? So the water's boiling now. I need to pour some of this on the noodles. And you let them steep in there for 3 minutes. Just the same amount of time it takes for the samphire to be done. So you throw the samphire in here. Oh my god, the colour of it is amazing. Rat. So you strain noodle. Jeez, burning hair. Leave them in there for 3 minutes. That's all. Oh my god, look at the green colour coming off of that. Wow. I think they're submerged now. Couldn't be simpler. Noodles and samphire. Boom, boom. Okay, let those sit for 3 minutes. Woohoo! Oh my god, there's some smell off that now. Jesus, I'm strong. I'm gonna smell off that now. Very salty, very marshy, but really good. I don't want to boil the you-know-what out of it. You can see a lot of the green coming out into the water, and I think that's probably coming from the Purslane. That has changed colour. It was like an olivey colour, and now it's the same colour as the samphire. I don't know if you can see it there. So the Purslane has changed quite a lot. Tasted that. That was probably better raw. Oh, that's unreal. So nice. Okay, Niamh. Won't take long, sweetie. So of course it's all common sense. Really simple stuff. Strain off the noodles. Everything goes back to the sea anyway. But the colour is just unbelievable. So now, back into the pot. So just put on a good dollop of butter. Give that a good mix up. Oh my god. You pay a lot of money for something like this in a restaurant. That amount of samphire, if you were to buy that in a supermarket at the moment, you'd probably pay about €2 for it. For that amount of samphire. And we've probably about 6 or 7 times that, maybe even more. And yeah, it's quite expensive in a restaurant. Of course it's seasonal and that's why it's expensive. I'm going to get that on top then. Put a few small bits of cheese on top there. There you go. Marsh Samphire, picked and cooked, all within about 20 minutes. Okay, Niamh. Ah, there you are. Hi, Niamh. Are you a bit cold? Here, you hold that.
It looks like I'm giving it to someone.
No, you're taking it. I'm going to amazing.
I'm gonna steal all the cheese.
Huh?
I'm gonna steal all the cheese.
Enjoy that, won't you, sweetie?
All of it?
You use what you want. Drain noodle. Jeez, burning hair. So the what's that white stuff called? What is that white stuff called? Not pasta. No, not spaghetti. The white stuff. It's called noodles. 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 We're gonna have the sea purslane with noodle. We love noodles, don't we? There you go. Ahoo!
Go!